Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Reality Reads. Get comfy because today we are putting a bow on 2025. Okay, so before we actually jump in, I just want to be clear that this is not a ranking kind of video. Today, I am just chatting about my favorites, my least favorites, moments throughout the year that had me kicking my feet and or wondering why I didn't choose to DNF certain books. We're talking about books and TV, all of the things. So let's jump right in. Let's kick things off with the reading wins. These are my favorite books throughout the year, books that I still continue to think about. And oddly enough, all of these I've read very closely together, but genuinely, if you go and look at my story graph, these were truly my highest rated books. There's a couple others, but they were holiday specific, and I don't really like including those in these year-end wrap-ups. So starting off with If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia, I absolutely loved this book. If this was a ranking video, well, I can't even say that. I was getting ready to say that this would probably be my number one, but honestly, I could say that for the other two books that I'm about to name. They're all just kind of different, and I love them all for different reasons, but love them all so much. So for If It Makes You Happy, this was just genuinely the perfect romance read. And I really feel like this year I wasn't really connecting with the romance books that much. A lot of them were seeming extremely repetitive to me. And I was really trying to explore other genres or really lean heavily into thrillers. I've always loved thrillers as well. But the romance books just weren't really it for me this year. But this one was. And I absolutely think that the author nailed the nostalgic factor of this book. It was just perfection top to bottom. I also don't typically love a slow burn, but it was so good in this book. Just everything about it seemed so natural and real and just good. But moving on to my next book, it is of course Behind the Mirror by Taryn Armstrong. As a huge Big Brother fan, this just was both of my worlds melding so perfectly together. It was so fun to go back and revisit some of the old iconic Big Brother moments. I agreed with Taryn on pretty much all of his breakdown of all of the social economics of Big Brother as a game and their relation to the real world and our society and all of those kinds of things. Even if you're not a Big Brother fan, this is an interesting read. You don't have to know Big Brother or know what the game is to understand the book, because he explains it all the parts that you would need to know to understand the book. He explains it all. It's a really well-written book. Also, he is a podcaster. He narrated the audiobook, so of course the audiobook is top tier. Loved it so much, and it just felt nice to have Taryn reading me a book instead of telling me about what people were doing inside of the Big Brother house. Okay, and then this book is similar to the last one, but the last book that I have here on my wins list is Your Favorite Scary Movie, which was a book that kind of broke down the Scream movie franchise. Again, it was just so fun to go back and read about honestly, with Taryn's Big Brother book, I know a lot of that information. There really wasn't a lot of new to me information. There was only really one thing that really sticks out to me, and it was more so a little speck of information about what inspired Big Brother and the live feeds that I hadn't heard before, but that's not the main inspiration. I had heard of all the other kinds, but anyways, I'm really well informed when it comes to Big Brother. I'm not so well informed when it comes to the Scream franchise, even though I've watched them all, watched them from the beginning. I do know some kind of things about it, but nowhere near what I did Big Brother. So it was really fun to take a deep dive into the franchise. I learned a lot about the different theories that fans have had throughout the years about all the different movies, which was fun. I just guess I know there's a lot of people that like the franchise, but I did not realize that there was a community of people that love Scream in the same way that the community of people love Big Brother, where they just connect and create community and all these things. I'm not joining that community just because I'm already part of this community and it takes up so much of my time and energy and brain power and thoughts, and that's where I've been for a majority of my life. But it was so cool to like just learn more about this movie franchise that I've loved for so long. And I don't know, it's wild to me that in my list of like 3 wins, 2 are nonfiction books. Let's move over to the TV show wins. And honestly, this was such a weird year for TV for me. And I can only think of 2 shows that really stand out to me that I feel confident and comfortable even putting under a win category. There were others that it was just like, okay. I also like did not do any of my normal kind of like yearly rewatches, which is also really weird, but let's jump into the wins. Obviously, Big Brother 27. I think that this was such a great season of Big Brother. We were busy, glued to the feeds, and had to be glued to the feeds from night 1 of the feeds till the end. And even in the end, when we thought we knew what was going to be the outcome, it ended up being a different outcome. And so I just think that this season of Big Brother was so entertaining. Obviously, there were parts of the season that I didn't love. Hello, Hamster Wheel of Death. I mean, I really thought that that was going to be the death of that season, to be honest, and it wasn't. So like looking at the season as an overall whole, it was an enjoyable season. I'm not someone that can sit here and say it's going to be like one of my top 5 favorite seasons or anything of that nature. I need more time to pass before I can really kind of evaluate it in that way. But as far as like just looking at TV shows that I watched as a whole in 2025, it was such an enjoyable and great season for this year of TV. Now, the other TV show that I have on my list is on Peacock, and it is All Her Fault. I think that this was such a well done adaptation from the book, and I did read the book before I watched the show. The reason that I think that it was so well done is because I literally read the book to watch the show, and the show still had me questioning like, oh damn, like did they really like change up the main like plot and like plot twist of this story? Like the fact that I knew what the answer to the equation was, but I was still questioning it, I think speaks to how well they did the TV show. I like the different additions that they made to the TV show. They didn't really take much away from the story. They just added additional elements to it or tweaked certain elements. And I think that they were like beneficial elements that they either added or tweaked. So I thought it was a really phenomenal show. Anyone that I have convinced to watch it has also loved it. So that like whether they're normally in agreement with me on shows or not. So I think that's also a testament to how good it is. I wish there was an app that's like Letterboxd or Storygraph, like some way to track television shows. Because I'm sure that there may have been some other shows that I watched throughout the year that I enjoyed. Hold on, my mailman is here. This is so awkward. There may have been other shows that I watched throughout the year that I enjoyed and I just simply don't remember them. But at the same time, if I don't remember them, do they really deserve a spot in this like essentially top 3 section? Probably not, but also just memory. Oh God, there he is again. Now for the reads that just didn't hit the mark this year. And honestly, like no hate to anyone that loved these books or plans to read them. These are just my own personal opinions. These books were not for me. So starting off first and starting off strong was Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I typically love Abby Jimenez's books. This is probably the first book of hers that I've read that was not a 5-star. So the fact that it wasn't a 5-star, but it was like not even remotely close to a 5-star was extremely shocking and unexpected to me. And I think that's why this one stands out to me the most as like a loss in the reading world for this year. And I just could not honestly get over all of the like problems with Cat's Butthole. It just like, it seemed like we could probably maybe come up with like a different conflict in the book. It seemed like, I don't know. I don't know if that was supposed to be like comedic relief or what, but it just was, it was too much for me, to be honest. I also just really did not like our FMC that much, and I felt like a lot of the love story seemed extremely forced between the two people. So I don't, just overall, that one wasn't a good one for me. My next one is a Freida McFadden book. And if you follow me here for a while or follow me over on TikTok, you know I have like a love-hate relationship with Freida McFadden and her books. And this one was like a really weird miss for me because it was really, really good until the very end. And then the ending just made absolutely no sense. And I'm not alone in that. Like the fact that she had to put out, it was either a social post or it was like an like something in her newsletter that I found. I can't remember, but it was like to explain and like expand upon the ending of that book in order for it to make sense, because so many people were saying it didn't make sense. And like the reason that I'm saying all of this is because then there were people like in comment sections or making posts on social being like, if you didn't understand it, like maybe you're just not smart enough. No, I've literally never seen so many people not understand the ending of a book. Like, you just got lucky or you're lying saying that you understood it. Genuinely. Like, it did not make sense. The book is Death Row. Like I said, it was such a good read until the very freaking end. Like, and when I say the very end, it was the epilogue. So it wasn't even like the end of like that story. It was something else that was added to the story that just totally threw off everything that you had just read. And I just don't know why we did that. Like, honestly, this book could have like been fine without an epilogue. And then this would have been probably like an extreme close to 5-star read. This went from being a close to 5-star, if not 5-star read, to nothing for me, because I was just like, what was a really, I guess I would say like frustrating read, because it just kind of like ruined it. You know, it ruined that whole reading experience. My last one that I have on the list is actually a DNF. It is Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. I think that this one is making the list because I feel like I fell into the trap of like the overhypedness over on like TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Because a lot of people were really talking this book up a lot. And I normally don't really care about reading like the trending books or like what's popular on the apps or whatever. But this one I was intrigued by, and then it just, I don't know. I tried to read it on the Kindle, and then that wasn't really doing it for me. And then I had seen a lot of people saying that like the audiobook was really, really good. And so I tried reading it that way, and I don't know. The story just wasn't that good to me. So I ended up DNFing that one just a shy under halfway through. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. So it just wasn't for me, that one. I really can't, you know, with the other two, I can kind of pinpoint reasons why I didn't really enjoy those. But with this one, I can't really pinpoint a reason. It just wasn't the book for me, wasn't the time. I don't know. Didn't work for me. So those are my like least favorite or losses when it comes to the reading side of things. Moving along to the TV shows that flopped for me in 2025. And honestly, I feel like there were a lot of them. But my problem though is it's hard to really kind of, it's been hard to sit here and think of like 3 that really like took the cake, because there were so many shows that were similar to that Freida McFadden book where it's like they had some good parts to it, but just overall they weren't that good. They weren't that enjoyable, or they like were decent for a decent amount of time and then the ending just freaking sucked, which brings me to our first one, which was unfortunately Traitors season 3. This is probably going to be a hot take and an unexpected opinion from me. But I, like, as we were in the moment, I was really enjoying the season. I think that though I was, for the most part, enjoying like the community that I had around me during the season rather than the show itself, because I absolutely hated the ending. Like, I will say also, I enjoyed my very inner community that I have around me. The community as a whole was very, very frustrating. And I hope that with the new season coming up soon, that people will not behave the same way with this season that they did last season. Because the fact that so many people were upset or hurt or shocked that people were lying in a game called The Traitors. It's in the title. So that was very frustrating and probably adds a little bit to like my dislike, but really at the end of it, at the heart of it, the part that I didn't like was the fact that we had so many people splitting the money at the end. Like, it's just, I just hated it. I hate that. I hate that so much. No, thank you. Please do not do that. I hope and pray that this season 4 has a better ending. But there were definitely parts of season 3 that were really, really good, and elements of the season as a whole, whether it was the show or the community, that I enjoyed. But overall, it was kind of a miss for me. Then I'm just going to say Survivor, whether it was season 48 or 49. I did not like either one of them all that much. Honestly, the one and only reason that I said this most of the season that I even watched the whole season of season 49 was because of Sophie B. I've been friends with her on TikTok for a while now. I wanted to watch in support of her. And I had even told her, like, girl, as soon as you're out, I'm out. And I honestly secretly kept hoping for her downfall, and it just never came. She made it to the finale, so I watched the whole thing begrudgingly. And I think I've just decided that, like, Survivor's not for me anymore. I tried to get back into it, season 48, and yeah, it's just not for me. I like when Survivor used to switch to different locations and we learned about the culture of that place and all of those different kind of things. I just don't like this new stuff. So, yeah, it's a loss because I'm not planning on tuning into that show anymore. So that's unfortunate. It's very similar to Traitors, where like there's been certain episodes, like there was an episode that was really, really good. I remember like my jaw was on the floor and all of these kinds of things, you know, like there were moments that were good, but as like a whole season, not so great. I know those last two may have seemed like hot takes, but this one may be my hottest one. A flop for me this year was this last season of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I haven't even finished it because I can't. I tried to watch it when it first came out, which was in the middle of the Big Brother season. And so I would try and watch it when like live feeds were down, and I just wasn't that intrigued by it. But also I just know how I am during Big Brother season. So I kind of just at the time chalked it up to like, it's just not the time. I need to just let all of these episodes drop. And then once the Big Brother season is over, I will like binge this season, right? That just was not the case. I have tried, I can't tell you how many times I have tried, and I get to like halfway through episode 2 every time, and I'm just like, this is so dumb. I don't want to watch this anymore. And I was obsessed. Like, I have like Cousins Beach merch and shit like that. Like, I was obsessed with The Summer I Turned Pretty. Obsessed. I don't want to use that word because it's not that serious. But I really did love the show. Like, I did enjoy it a lot the first 2 seasons. And I don't know if it's just my own like taste have changed or if this just wasn't a good season. Like I said, because I didn't really want to watch it while Big Brother was on, I really tried to avoid any online conversations about The Summer I Turned Pretty to avoid any kind of like spoilers and things of that nature. So I don't know if this is just a me thing or if this is like a common opinion amongst everyone. I'm also a little confused because I do remember seeing some things online about how like there was supposed to be like a Christmas movie or something that was coming out, and then here at the end of the year I've not heard a single thing about that, so I have no idea what that was about. But I also like, again, do not care. But it's just really kind of disappointing that like I stuck through it for the first 2 seasons and really enjoyed it, and now that we're putting like an end to the whole thing, it just is not for me, you know? That's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. And who knows, maybe one day I'll go back and finally be able to finish the last season of that show. But as for right now, I could not be more uninterested in finishing that program. Okay, let's end this thing on a high note. So I'm going to tell you a few moments from 2025 that just brought joy to my life, my world, my whatever. Some of them are going to be book, TV, whatever related, and then some are just going to be personal related, but I thought that would be like a fun way to kind of really tie this whole thing together. So I would say one of my favorite moments from 2025, not really a moment, but it's going to be just like an overall memory, has been our family days that we've had. I kind of talked about this in a previous video. I think it was one of the Vlogmas videos, but we sat down on New Year's Eve last year and made family goals. Everyone could also make personal goals if they wanted to, but we wanted to make goals as a family. And we made a few that we didn't really stick to, but the one that we definitely stuck to was to have family day. There was only 1 month this year that we missed having family day, but it was really more so of a timing issue. We still technically had 12 family days throughout the year. It's just that there was 1 month that it didn't fall within that month. But I think it was so much fun. I had honestly really been struggling with getting out of the house. I think I maybe had talked about this in a previous video as well. But just, you know, ever since COVID and being someone that works from home, I really have turned into somewhat of a recluse. And family day has definitely helped make me be a little bit more comfortable being around people, being out of the house, going and doing things, all of those kinds of things. And I got to experience and provide like new experiences for my kids. We really tried to do some brand new things that were exciting. We took them to their first Major League Baseball game. That was only my second one that I had ever been to. That was a really, really fun day. They were so surprised. They had no idea we were going to that. We got to take them, you know, recently on our family vacation. We found so many new board games that we have really grown to love as a family. The kids have found new restaurants that they really like that have become kind of like, if we're going to be in that town, that's where we're going to eat. They become like their favorites. So I just think that it really made this like a fun year for us as a family to be able to do family day. I'm trying to think about like what that looks like going into 2026. I'm not really sure because of where we live. It is so hard to continue to do that and make it be new experiences without like spending a ton of money, because that was kind of like the caveat to that was like, obviously the vacation and the Major League Baseball game, those were a little bit costly. They were a splurge, but we were not trying to like be over the top and splurge every single month. Like we still have bills that need paid and a budget that needs to be followed and things like that. But so it's hard to add in the new aspect. So maybe we'll take off that like rule of it has to be something new, and more so just that like we have to do something together as a family once a month. So I don't know. That's still kind of a work in progress for 2026, but it's something that I definitely want to continue doing because it is fun to just get us out of the house and do some fun things together. Another top moment from 2025 honestly has just been 2025 has just kind of been a year of me trying new things in many different ways. Like I said, new experiences with family day. But I also, as I've discussed a few times in a couple of different videos at different points throughout the year, I left my job and then I came back to it, but in a different way. I don't really talk about my job too much on social media. I do like to keep some aspects of my life to myself, but you know, I needed some kind of a change. It didn't end up being like the change that I needed, but it helped me learn what I do need, and it also just felt good to actually like put myself out there and try something new, try something uncertain. And it's something that I plan to kind of like lean more into going forward, because even though things didn't work out the way I thought they would, things weren't terrible. My life is not in shambles. You know what I mean? Like, me making that decision did not ruin my life. I can try new things and make big decisions and things will be okay. So I think that that was a very good and positive thing for the year of 2025. And in a year where a lot of things were like a dumpster fire, I can say that I at least had some positive moments and things that are helping me feel like I can like be propelled into 2026. And then for my last like moment of 2025, honestly, it's my favorite moment of BB27. I feel like anytime I really kind of put like a cap on the year, Big Brother somehow shows its face in this way. And my favorite moment of BB27 was definitely the day or the night, because it was the middle of the night when this happened. And I just so happened to like wake up as soon as feeds came back on. And it was when Riley won HOH and then Mickey used her power and they were successful in making it all happen. I think the reason it sticks out the most is because it was such a roller coaster of emotions. I remember being so bummed that Riley had won HOH because I knew all of the people that I was rooting for were going to be in trouble. So to go from that automatic low to then feeds cut and we were all just sitting online in the middle of the night. This was at like 2 a.m. my time. Just honestly waiting for feeds to come back up and be like, is this gonna fail or is this gonna succeed? Because that's gonna depend on like our mood for the week, basically. And then feeds come back up and we instantly can tell that it was a success. And I just remember even just like, I'll put a clip here of my TikTok update of when feeds came back up. Our week for HOH is very unfortunately Riley. I was rooting for Rachel Riley. However, the feeds have been down again for, I think we're at 2 hours now. And I am wondering if maybe Mickey didn't activate her power and that's why feeds are down. You guys, okay, if you don't want Big Brother 27 spoilers, you have to scroll. This is a major spoiler. Scroll on if you don't want any spoilers. Oh my god, it worked. Mickey's power was activated and Riley did not guess it correctly. Mickey is the new HOH. Ugh, chef's freaking kiss. I am so happy. Riley is so sad. So sad. Sorry, it does suck. You just got your HOH taken away, but I am happy. I was ecstatic. And as much as that is my top moment, it is really bittersweet to discuss it right now because of, if you don't know, on Christmas Day, Mickey passed away. So it is really bittersweet for that to be one of my top moments of 2025. And even though I said I was ending this video on a high note, obviously that just took a turn. I did not sleep that day. I had slept for a little bit when feeds were still down, but from the minute that they came back up to Riley winning HOH, I did not sleep the rest of that day. And it was also just a fun day online because all of us had felt the same way. So that is my 2025 wrapped, my faves, my flops, all the things in between. Let me know down in the comments, what are some of your favorite moments? Do we have any of the same faves or flops? And I will see you in the next video.